Hello, everyone. Today, I want to present you a webinar about biometric authentication in Fintech. So, let me introduce myself. My name is Thrush. I am a mobile lead at DashDevs. I have experience more than 8 years in mobile development. And with DashDevs, we had already implemented more than 45 Fintech projects. And we have expertise more than 20 years and have cooperation with more than 75 vendors. So let's go to our agenda. So our agenda today is understanding what is biometric authentication. The next one is what doing biometrical authentication in fintech applications. How to implement biometric security in fintech mobile applications, what the best rules. We talk a little bit about case study, what we had previously, and talk about future trends and conclusion. So let's start. Let's talk about why security is really important in financial applications. It's like right now, a statistic in 2023, the global financial sector faced an average of 200 cyber attacks per week. It's like 25% increase from the previous year, 2022. So these attacks not only result in direct financial losses, but also damage customer trust and brand reputation. So in result, like we have some financial fraud concerns. According to a recent report, financial fraud losses totaled 24 billion globally in 2023. And identity theft and unauthorized access are among the top methods used in these frauds. So, and if we talk about regulatory and compliance, regulations, stringent regulations like GDPR and PSD2 require robust security measures to protect user data. And non-compliance can result in hefty fines and legal ramifications. So, and if we talk about user experience, so when user faced some fraud attacks and lose their money, the user experience is really low. Let's go next. Let's understand what is biometric authentication at all. So let's start to introduction. We have several types of biometrics. Yep. Let's define what is biometrics. Biometrics refers to the statistical analysis of biological data. In the context of security, it is the unique physical or behavioral characteristics used for identifying some individuals. Common biometric identifiers include fingerprints, facial features, iris patterns, and voice recognition. Like in security, there is some interesting things which provides by biometric. So unparalleled accuracy. Biometric system offer a high level of accuracy in verifying identities, making them more reliable than traditional security methods like passwords. Difficult to forge. So the unique nature of biometric data makes it extremely difficult for intruders to replicate or forge it, enhancing overall security. And efficient and fast. So biometric verification is quick and user-friendly. It requires minimal effort from the user. Like how to understand biometrics, like with simple analogy. Consider biometrics as digital fingerprints. Just as no two fingerprints are the same, biometric data is unique to each individual. The uniqueness is what makes it such a powerful tool for authentication. Like you can imagine a door that only opens when it recognizes your face or fingerprint. That's biometric in action, a personalized key based on your unique traits. So let's go next. What types of biometric authentication could be? So there are a lot of them, and let's talk a little bit about each of them. So fingerprint recognition, as example, yeah. So as we talk, fingerprint utilize the unique patterns of ridges and volleys found on a person's fingertips. How we can use it? Unlocking smartphones, or laptops, and secure doors, as usual. Let's go next. Facial recognition, yeah. So face. It analyzes facial features to identify an individual, including the shape of the jawline, nose, and eye sockets. Where we can use it, device security, airport customs, identity verification, etc., etc. So, iris scan scans the unique patterns in the colored ring of the eye surrounding the pupil. Where we can use it, high security facilities, border control, some smartphone unlocking technology, maybe in future. So let's go next. As example, voice recognition, which identifies and verifies a person by their voice, patterns, and speaking style. Where it can be used? Voice-activated devices, secure phone systems, and authentication for customer support. Hand geometry, as example, it measures and analyzes the shape of the hand, including lengths, widths, and thickness of the fingers. Where it can be used, access control in buildings and secure locations, and can be used in combination with another feature like fingerprints. And behavioral biometrics. So it identifies individuals based on their behavior patterns, such as typing rhythm, mouse movement, and walking style. Where it can be used, enhancing security in digital banking and online platforms. So let's go next. What the advantages or traditional methods has biometric authentication? So, like, let's talk about security level. Yep. So if we talk about security level, when we use biometric, it's really high. It's difficult to replicate because it's unique for individual. If we talk about password, it's more moderate, so it can be strong but vulnerable to guessing and hacking or brute forcing, etc., etc. And if we talk about PIN, so it's low to moderate and it's like easier to guess than password, as you know. Let's go next. So convenience. In biometric, we have high level of convenience because we have quick access with a simple gesture or scan. So like we scan iris or we scan fingerprint, face, etc. If we talk about password, it has low convenience because you can forget it and like it's lead you to reset processes. I think in your life you have at least several times when you forgot your password on some websites or resources. And pins, it's moderate because it's easier to remember it, but still requires manual entry. So the next one is user experience. In biometrics, it's like seamless and intuitive, and often faster than when you type something. If you talk about password, it can be cumbersome. So especially when you have some hard, complex passwords where we have lowercase, uppercase, first with some notations, etc. And pins. So they are simpler as password, but still requires manual input. Okay, so the next one, speed of authentication. If we talk about speed of authentication and how it works in biometrics, so usually it's really fast. So it's could be like less than a second. If you talk about password, it will be more time consuming because like some passwords are really complex and you need to click them before proceed with authentication. And if you talk about pins, they are relatively quick but slower than biometrics. The next one is risk of theft or loss. So if we talk about biometric, there is very low level that your data will be theft. So biometric data is inherited to the person. So it's really hard to theft your person or your fingerprint or your like face, etc. If you talk about password, so passwords has high level of possible loss because they are susceptible to phishing and other forms of theft. And if you talk about pins, it's moderate because it can be absorbed somewhere, or guessed just because it's not so complex and big as password. Let's talk who needs biometric authentication according to business. Let's start from banking sector. Why a banking sector need biometrics? Because biometrics provide high security for transactions, fraud preventions, and regulatory compliance. What benefits? We enhanced customer trust because their money more secured. We are reduced fraud, and we add in quick and secure access to banking services. And as example, biometric could be used with ATMs and mobile banking applications. Let's do the next sphere. Online retailers. If we talk about online retailers, biometrics could provide secure payment processing and customer identity verification to combat fraud, as well as for banking sector. What benefits? It provides streamlined checkout process, reduce chargebacks, and increased consumer confidence. And if we talk about examples, like biometric verification could be used for online transaction and user logins, as well in applications, as well in some web services. The next is healthcare industry. So healthcare industry can use biometric to provide more accurate patient identification, secure access to medical records, which are personalized, and provide compliance with privacy regulations. What benefits? So we are improving patient safety, record keeping is more efficient and more secured, and we can protect user-sensitive data. And as example, like we can use biometric of patient for check-in and verify him in the system so he can take access to his personal sensitive data. So let's go next. Let's talk about real-life examples of biometrics. If we talk about real-life examples, we can see biometrics in smartphones and laptops. We can see them in airport usage, in workplaces, in public security. If we talk about smartphones and laptops, we can see that most modern smartphones and laptops now featured with fingerprint, some of them facial recognition for unlocking the device and authenticating up purchases or logins, etc. What impact of biometric? So it simplifies the user experience and adds an additional layer of security. As example, it could be fingerprint sensor on smartphone or like facial recognition on some devices, yeah, which provide you fast access to your data, to your device. If you talk about airports, so biometric authentication, especially facial recognition, is increasingly being used at airports for boarding, customs, and immigration process. So it helps to speed up the boarding process, enhance security, and reduce the need for boarding passes and physical ID checks. And as example, like it could be automated passport control using facial recognition technology. So you don't need some custom officer which will check your data. If you talk about workplace, so on workplace, like many offices and factories use biometric system like fingerprints or iris scanners for access control to their places, and where you can interact maybe with some secure thing which relates to this production. And what impact we have? Biometric improves security by restricting access to some authorized personnel and streamlines attendance tracking. What is example like fingerprint scanner, which stand at entry points and like locks for in and out, so you can understand who was entered in this place and who came back. And public security. If you talk about public security, it's like it talks about law enforcement and public safety agencies use biometrics for identification purposes, including facial recognition and public surveillance. What impact? So it aids in identifying and tracking individuals for safety and security purposes. As example, like facial recognition could be used in public CCTV systems. Let's continue with biometrics in financial apps. So, and let's start like why we need security in financial apps. Like as we talked about previous, like healthcare industry, banking, etc., etc. So financial application is like part of banking system, could be. So that's why it's need to use biometric as well. So why we need to use it? because there is like some risk about inadequate security. So our data could be breached, we can face financial frauds, and in result, we will have reputational damage, not only funds. So customer trust is really important because we want to keep our brand and we want to protect our customers. And the last thing is like about regulatory compliance, because it's important thing, because there is some legal obligations and could be some penalties and fines if we not secured our financial application. So let's see on some use cases in financial applications where we can use biometric. So the first case is banking application, yeah. And how we can use biometric here. So it could be fingerprint or facial recognition for login into banking application to verify transaction and authorize some transfers. So basically, like in application, we can secure our user-sensitive data with biometric, with fingerprint or face ID based on device. And to get access to this data only when user provide their biometric. Without that, no one can decode this information and use it. So in result, like using biometry in banking application, enhance security, reduce the risk of fraudulent transactions, and improves user experience with quick access, because you know that biometry works really fast. Payment application. It's like pretty the same. So we can use biometric authentication for log into this application. As example, we can validate payments, transfers, etc., etc. So even we can like make some payments, prepare some transfer in web, and then validate them by biometric in our application. So the next one is healthcare. Healthcare finance. So we can use biometric like to identify patient and like use it in billing process, insurance process, and verify that the person who use our service, he will his data is secured, and he has access to the sensitive data, to his personal billing data and his personal health data. So, and ATM transactions. If you talk about ATM transactions, so it could be enabled biometric ATMs for using fingerprint or iris scans, as example, for cash withdrawals and other transactions like to transfer money from you to your maybe friends, etc. And like what's the impact? It will reduce the risk of ATM skimming and card theft, because you will not use card, you will use your biometric. So if you talk about enhancing experience and security while we use biometric in financial application. So what about improved security? Biometrics offer a high level of security, as you know, due to the uniqueness of personal attributes like fingerprints, facial structures, and iris patterns. It significantly reduces the risk of unauthorized access and fraud, as biometric traits are incredibly difficult to replicate and usually used in banking application, in Fintech application, etc. If we talk about enhancing users' experience, so biometric authentication typically faster and more convenient than traditional methods like passwords or PINs, and it streamlines the login and authentication process, leading to increased user satisfaction and reduced frustration of the user. If you talk about balancing security with convenience, so biometrics bridge the gap between freelance security requirements and the need for a smooth, hassle-free user interface. And customers enjoy a seamless experience without compromising on the security of their financial transactions or access to their sensitive data. And building customer trust. So the robustness of biometric security measures helps in building and maintaining trust among customers, critical factor in the financial sector. And it increased adoption and loyalty towards apps and services that prioritize both security and ease of use. Let's go next. Let's talk a little bit about technical implementing biometric security in mobile fintech applications. So, like when we decide to integrate biometric, we should keep in mind several principles and points which should be during biometric authentication integration. The first one is biometric data capture, data processing and storage, authentication process, integration with existing systems, user interface design, and testing and compliance. So the first one, biometric data capture, it means that this initial step involves capturing biometric data like fingerprints or facial scans using some sensors or cameras of device. The quality and type of sensor or camera can greatly affect the accuracy and reliability of the data captured. The next one is data processing and storage. So once we captured the data, the biometric data is processed and converted into a digital format for storage. So we should ensure that data encryption secure storage is protected to use privacy and comply with data protection laws. The next one is authentication process. So the app compares the captured biometric data with stored data to authenticate the user. When we implement this step, so implementing algorithms for accurate and quick matching, we should ensure the low false acceptance rejection rates of these algorithms. The next one is integration with existing systems. So biometric system need to be integrated with the app with existing security infrastructure. So this integration might involve API integration with current authentication systems, and we should ensure compatibility across different devices and platforms. The next one is user interface design. So the user interface should guide the user intuitively through the biometric authentication process. So it should be smooth and understandable. So like designing a user-friendly interface is the most important thing, and it should clearly communicate the steps and responses during the authentication process for user. And testing and compliance. So testing is required to ensure that the system works accurately under different scenarios with biometry. Testing should include performance testing, security vulnerability testing, and compliance with regulatory standards. As example, GDPR or PSD2. So what SDKs and API we have for biometric authentication in mobile? Some examples. Let's start from Apple's Face ID and Touch ID. So Apple provides SDKs for integrated Face ID and Touch ID in iOS applications. So what's the key thing? It's like we have advanced security features in result with seamless integration with iOS devices and with user-friendly interface. Google provides Google's biometric prompt API, which we can use in Android. So Google's biometric prompt API allows for a unified approach to integrate biometric authentication in Android applications. It supports a variety of biometric, including fingerprint, face, and in some new versions, starting of iris recognition. There is some biometric SDKs by independent vendors. There is not a lot of them, but they are like provide pretty the same functionality as previous, but maybe with some customization options. So let's talk about best practices for security integration. So when we integrate biometry, so we should think about prioritization of user privacy is the first thing. Then we should make regular security updates, which relate to updates SDK, update to the latest versions with the latest fixes, and where we have fixed the latest vulnerabilities. We should use multi-factor authentication. It means that it's better to combine several authentication methods to provide more secure access to user data or to balances, transfers, etc. For user, it should be transparent if we talk about how their data will be secured. We should, and how they can use this authentication approach. We should provide some performance testing. It means like testing vulnerabilities too, etc. We should think about backup systems because we should avoid a stage where user data will be broken or just removed. And accessibility considerations. So we should provide a possibility to use authentication for everyone with using accessibility features which provided by each mobile device. Okay, so from best practices, let's go to case study. In our case study, we will talk about our Fintech core application. As you can see in Fintech core application, we had to use Face ID verification, which was used for authentication as well and for KYC process. When we try to identify user and take information about his ID and is it relates to himself. What challenges we had during implementation? So the first one is user privacy concerns. So user may have concerns about how their biometric data is collected, stored, and used. So how we resolve it? We implement strict privacy policies. We use encryption for data storage, and we ensure transparency with users about data usage. So we describe how their data has been used. Then technological compatibility. Like we should ensure the biometric system is compatible across various devices and platforms. So how we resolve it? We'll use provided SDK and APIs and conduct extensive testing on multiple devices to ensure broad compatibility. The next one is security vulnerabilities. So biometric systems can be susceptible to security breaches or spoofing attacks. We are incorporate multi-factor authentication. So based on the Face ID identification, we are continuously updating security protocols and employ some anti-spoofing techniques. The next one is regulatory compliance. So we try to we adhere to some regulatory standards like GDPR. So how we do it? Like we are staying informed about regulatory requirements, involve our legals and compliance team from the start, and conduct regular audits when we get some new requirements from regulator. And the user acceptance and education. So users might be hesitant, lack understanding about biometric authentication at all. So we try to provide clear instructions, create some enough educational content, and offer user intuitive interface to simplify transition from password security approach to biometric. So what lessons we learned from our implementation of biometric in Fintech core application? Like user privacy is paramount. So the critical importance of handling biometric data with the highest level of privacy and security. So the best practice, use advanced encryption and anonymization techniques. Be transparent with users about data usage. The next one is the need of scalable solutions. So as user bases grow, biometric systems must scale efficiently. And the best practice is choose scalable technologies, plan for growth during the initial development phase. The next one is balancing security with usability. Overlay complex system can deter users despite high security. So, and the best choice is strive for user-friendly interface without compromising on security, and conduct user experience research. The next one is staying ahead of technological advances. So the field of biometrics is rapidly evolving, and in result, like, it's better to stay updated with the latest biometric technologies and trends, and be flexible to adapt and upgrade them. And educating and engaging users. So user adoption increases with awareness and understanding. So in practice, it's better to implement comprehensive user education programs and engage users through intuitive design and communication. Okay, so we have finished with a case study and what we learned from it. Let's take a look to the future. So what it could be next. So what I see so far, it's like we have some new trends. Yeah, the first one is advanced modalities. What it means, it's like beyond fingerprints and facial recognition, emerging modalities like vein pattern recognition and heart rate biometrics are gaining attention too. These new methods promise even higher security and accuracy, opening up new possibilities in biometric authentication. The next new trend is AI and machine learning integration. So incorporation of AI and machine learning is enhancing the capabilities of biometric systems, making them more adaptive and accurate. So AI-driven biometrics can continuously learn and improve, reducing false positives and increasing reliability. Next one is behavioral biometrics, which we talk on the start. So this involves analyzing patterns in human activities, such as typing rhythm, gait, and interaction with devices. So it could provide some like level of continuous authentication, ensuring security is the user interaction, not just at the login stage. It means is your behavior in application where you work with your balances or transfers, and system decides that it's not appropriate to you, to your behaviors, it will notify you that there is some possible unsecure action, and you can apply on it and like avoid some fraud or avoid some loss of money. The next one is multi-factor and multimodal systems. So it means that we can use a combination of biometric factors at once. So it could be like face and voice and I don't know, fingerprints and iris recognition at once at one time. So with one device. It can really increase security because you require multiple form of verification, and making unauthorized access much more challenging, really challenging. And mobile and on-the-go biometrics. So we see that right now it's more increased use of mobile devices for biometric authentication, including wearable technologies. like smartwatches. And it offers convenience and accessibility, making biometric security a part of our everyday life. So, future role of biometric in finance. Like possible predictions where it will be used. So, ubiquitous biometric authentication. So, biometric authentication will become a standard security feature in virtually all financial transactions, from banking to investments. This shift will offer unparalleled security, reduced fraud, and streamline user experience in financial interactions. Integrated cross-platform solutions. Biometric systems will be seamlessly integrated across multiple platforms, including mobile, web, and in-page services in banking. It will provide consistent and secure user experience across all financial touchpoints. Advanced identity verification. So, with the advent of more sophisticated biometrics, financial institutions will leverage technologies like heart rate or wind pattern recognition for identity verification. These advanced methods will offer even greater security and accuracy, minimizing identity theft and fraud. And biometrics in financial analytics. So it could be collecting biometric data combined with AI will be used for advanced customer analytics, tailoring financial products and services for individual behaviors and preferences. Enhancing personalized and prediction of customer needs, leading to more targeted and effective financial services. But I think this stuff will be really regulated by governance. And the last one, regulatory evolution. So financial regulations will evolve to keep pace with biometric technology, focusing on data security and privacy, and will provide ensuring a balance between innovative security solutions and protection of individual rights. So, and let's go to conclusions. In conclusion, like what we talked today, biometric authentication is not just a trend, but like a paradigm shift in financial security and user experience. So, evolving role of biometrics with advanced technologies and broader applications points toward a more secure and efficient financial ecosystem. So we should emphasize the balance between security, user convenience, and privacy when we integrate biometric authentication. And we should be encouraged continued innovation and adoption of biometric technologies in finance. So that's it. Thank you very much to see this webinar. And if you have any questions, you can write them by these links from QR codes. Thank you so much. Have a good day.